Hello Internet, so nice to see you! Some time ago I posted a video on the Hungarian minor scale, and when I was deriving the chords of that scale, I dismissed the triad on the sharp fourth note, the D sharp, because none of the combination of notes seems to work as a triad on D sharp. From then on, I received dozens and dozens of comments and email on the fact that I overlooked a good chord, and many of those were actually pretty angry, as if I was doing a major mistake. So, you know what? You guys have a point. So let's dive on this strange word or a non-standard triad and how they actually sound, and let's see what we can do on the fourth note of the Hungarian minor scale. So again, the Hungarian minor scale in A, it's A, B, C, D sharp, E, F, G sharp, A. And you want to build a triad on this D sharp note. Now, as usual, the important thing is to remember that the names of those chords are not really important. The important thing about music is the sound of those chords, and then if you like those chords, you can use them in your music. But just for this video, why don't we indulge a bit and gorge ourselves into some hair splitting and chord naming? So here we go. Now let's see the intervals that the scale gives us. The E is the flat second over this D sharp, and the F is the major second, the G sharp is a perfect fourth, the A is a flat 5, and the B is a sharp 5. Now we see immediately that we are not going to find a standard triad here because we don't have a third, and we don't have a perfect fifth. I mean, if we were missing only the third, then we could do a suspended chord, and if we were missing only the perfect fifth, we could do an augmented or diminished chord likely, but we are missing both in this case. So what's going to happen? Well, we have essentially four possibilities. The first possibility is to write D sharp F A as the triad on D sharp. That's a pretty interesting combination and creates immediately an interval of a tritone between D sharp and A. Now that's a perfectly good and valid chord, but it's not a triad on D sharp. And why? Because if I play this, it actually sounds like an F7th chord, because that's exactly what it is. It's an F7th chord without the fifth. F7 would be F, A, C, E flat, and E flat is of course an harmonic to D sharp. In the context of the scale, this chord works like an Italian augmented sixth, and it resolves down to the E chord and ultimately into A minor. Our second possibility is to choose the notes D sharp, G sharp, and A. This still has a tritone between the D sharp and the A. Again, this group of notes is not really a triad over D sharp. If you were to find those three notes in a piece of music, you will explain it most likely as a B7 with an add 13 without the root. D sharp being the third, G sharp the sixth, and A the seventh over this B7. Or you can explain this as an F7 with a sharp 9 without the root. A being the third, D sharp enharmonic to E flat is the 7, and G sharp is the sharp 9. Both those chords will resolve to the E triad, which then will resolve to the A minor triad in this scale. Our third possibility is to pick the notes D sharp, F, and B. Now we have a tritone between F and B. Now again, it's easier to interpret those notes not as a triad over D sharp, but as a B major chord with a flat 5. But then again, you could tell me that B major with a flat 5, it's not really a standard triad either, and you would be completely right. In fact, if I were to find those three notes in a piece of music, I would interpret it in a completely different way. I would think this is an incomplete dominant chord. Specifically, I would think it's an F7 with a flat 5 without the third note. That's a plausible explanation since the missing note, the A, is actually part of the scale. Now, of course, since the third is missing, it could be something else. It could also be technically an F minor 7 with a flat 5 and no third, since the A flat, or G sharp if you want, it's inside the scale. Now, going off the deep end, some people could interpret those three notes as an incomplete G7 sharp 5 without the root, but there is no G in the Hungarian minor scale, so this interpretation is less likely, and some other people could interpret this as a D flat 9 without the root, so no D flat, but again there is no D flat in the Hungarian minor scale. But at this point, you're probably splitting hair. The point is that those three notes sound gorgeous together. And I should definitely have featured them in the previous video. Finally, another possibility is to take the notes D sharp, G sharp, and B. Again, those three notes do not work as a triad over D sharp, simply because those three notes are a G sharp minor triad, pure and simple. I sincerely do not see any other possibility for building a triad over this D sharp note, but hey, I may be missing something, so if you see something I don't see, why don't you help me and write down your ideas in the comment? Now, out of the 4 chords you've seen, 3 of them pretty much boil down to an F dominant 7th chord that could be altered or not, and that could be omitting some notes. And the last possibility is just a G sharp minor. And this F dominant 7th chord pretty much works all the time like an augmented 6th chord. And now if you want to know more about all those dominant and altered dominant and augmented 6th chord, I do recommend my course Complete Chord Mastery, when we dig deep into all those interesting chords and how to use them and how to actually apply them in your music. Complete Chord Mastery, it's a complete video course, it's not a book, that is written specifically for guitar players and teaches you theory on the fretboard. You can find out more about it by clicking the link on the top right. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have any comment, idea, suggestion, please write them down in the comments. This is Tommaso Zillia of musictheoryforguitar.com. And until next time, enjoy!